What's up, good people? It's your boy, Bro Troy, aka Mr. YM4C, better known as Coach TJ, and we are back for a special edition for the Bro Code Show. So tonight's show is sponsored by the big homie, Reggie Winston, owner of Barbershop, The Barber Shop, located at 4551 New Bern Avenue, Suite 180 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Please check out the barbershop for all of your premier grooming services. And don't forget to ask about their monthly memberships to save you time and money. Now, I'm really excited, man, about this upcoming collaborations, Jay, or excuse me, Bro Smith, right? And between the YM4C mentorship program and the barbershop, man. On the Saturday, the 27th, part one of the YM4C Fine Dining Etiquette Workshop will be hosted at the barbershop, where we will introduce to our young men table manners, common courtesies when dining in a group, as well as interactive role-playing exercises while they're on dates and also collectively in a group. We're also excited that each young man will receive complimentary grooming services to include a haircut, manicure, and a brand new suit, complete with shirt tie and a pair of socks. But it doesn't stop there, because on the following Tuesday, with partnership through Second Empire Tavern in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, they'll share facilitated conversation with leaders in education, business, and politics over a 3-course meal. The goal is to mature social development skills, increase confidence in learning new things, and to promote a growth mindset. JC, what's good, man? How you feeling, man? It's been a productive day.
Today has been a doozy. It has been a doozy. It's been a little bit of everything thrown at me today, but I'm alive. I'm blessed. We'll get through. But all things considered, a good day.
Yeah, man. One day at a time, brother. So, JC, I had the pleasure to be on a conversation and facilitate and moderate a conversation for the YMCA, Southeast Raleigh YMCA. Shout out to Dexter Hubert, the director there. And there was this awesome gentleman that was on the line. Now, there was some awesome people, period, on the line, but I really connected with this young man, and we asked him, hey, man, let's do a special edition. And he said, let's make it happen. So, we introduced to some and present to others Mr. Lex-Jordan. Now, I told him that he has a superhero name. And I'm like, man, with a name like that, brother, you have to do like 50 million things. And he lives up to it, man. So I want to bring him on the show, man, just to hear his perspective, man. So, again, I present to others and introduce to some Mr. Lex-Jordan, man. Lex, what's going on, brother?
Everything's good. Thank you so much for seeing the value in me and asking me to be a part of this show. It really means a lot, and I'm really honored.
Absolutely, man. Wouldn't have it any other way, man. But Lex, some people may already know you. Clearly, you're a hometown hero, man. Went to school in Cary. As far as high school, then for college, you went to UNC. But for those that don't know, man, who is Lex-Jordan at the core?
Oh, man, just a young man trying to be upstanding, gaining knowledge of self, taking care of my family, and really trying to be a role model for the community and create generational wealth and put people onto opportunities. That's who I feel I am.
Good stuff. Jay, you got something, man?
I do, man. I've been trying to learn up on you. I listened to the locker room talk that Brother Troy moderated a little while ago, and I was quite impressed with just the range of things that you do. I'm curious just how fast you are in terms of this whole track superstar, the instruments you play. As somebody who does, or at least attempts to do a lot myself, how are you able to juggle all of these things, from the instruments, the law, the athletic interests? Like, where do you find and make the time for all of this?
I would just say that it is really an aspect of just consistency and discipline at the end of the day. I'm a very regimented person. It's not as if I'm devoting all of my day to necessarily one thing, but, I like to stick to the schedule, wake up every day about 4:40, stretch out for about 15 to 20 minutes, listen to some Roland Martin, get on that track, hit the track for about an hour and a half, come back for the track. It's about 7:30, do an in-home workout, second workout of the day with the weights in the front yard, put a show on, and then I start the day, start making those calls, and those calls start hitting, that phone starts to ringing, and I have to go. Some days I'm in court, different counties, in 3 different counties between Alamance, Wake, Durham County. Sometimes I'm just at the table, make sure I'm being responsive to my clients, make sure that I'm seeing the value and the humanity in them. And then once I wrap that up, I'm like, okay, what will I do? I need to read something to feed my knowledge and feed myself and feed my brain, because what you put in is what you're going to get out, and the brain is a muscle. And what you speak, like the Bible says, life and death is held within the power of the tongue. So, what you speak, your body will respond to it. And then, might take 15 minutes, 20 minutes to play my guitar. That calms my nerves, because, being a lawyer can be stressful. And that's really, by the end of the day, I'm cooking some rice, man. I'm a rice eater, my mom and them, they're from Carolina. We got to get that rice going. I might cook you some red beans and rice. Might cook you some shrimp and grits, throw a little rice in there too. Might cook you some coconut rice. I'm going hard, so I got to cook. And then by that time, I go to sleep. When weekend come, we mixing records. We getting the beats going. And various calls. We never stop, because when you're your own business, you never stop. It's definitely a grind, but I love it.
Man, Lex the Flex. You hear Lex? He said he in the front yard putting on the show with weights. Got the single moms out there talking about, hey, Lex.
Crack the dawn, no less. 4:40. I heard that time, and I got tired and wanted to go back to bed just hearing you throw out 4:40.
Man, that's really dope, bro. I'm curious, man. You mentioned something there, man, and you hit on this when we were having that conversation in the locker room, and you danced on it just a momentary, but I want you to dig a little deeper, man. You threw something out there, and we were talking about mindset and the difference between a peasant and a king. Talk to me more about that, man. Put a layer on that for me.
So, for us is Black peoples in the world, African Americans in this country, the current situation that we are in is not our own making. This reality is something that we're placed in and forced into, whether that's colonialism, whether that's American apartheid, whether that's slavery. We're forced into that. So to a certain juncture, we lack the knowledge of ourselves and knowing what we are. But you have to, as you gain maturity, you have to learn who you are. And some of us were blessed with parents to infuse knowledge into us. I remember when I was younger, and one of our teachers asked us, what does each color mean to you? And I was in elementary school, and I wrote, well, black is ugly, it's evil, it's mean. My mama took that paper so fast and said, boy, don't you know black mean beautiful? And she started explaining it all to me, and she gave me different things to read. And so, you have to gain that understanding. And we as Black people have to learn to see outside of ourselves. I always say my grandmother was blind and couldn't see. And she had a 3rd grade education, came from born down in Bladen County near Lumberton down there. But she would always say, you're a Philadelphia lawyer. Now, if you're from the old time, you know that, doesn't mean I'm from Philadelphia. I've only been to Philadelphia once. But, that's something to say, you're going to be a snazzy lawyer. You're going to be my lawyer. She was speaking that upon me, and that's because, she had sight. You have to have knowledge of what you are and who you are, and I mentioned this on the previous podcast. My father said, I know you're going through everything, but, he always say, in Onitsha, that's the city where we're from, in Onitsha in Nigeria, you're a prince. You descend from the royal line. So you have to know that, and you have to study, and so it can give you that sense of pride. Because if not, what is given to you here will have you walking with your head down, and you never know that. I said in the song, I said, poverty is a mentality, and poverty is oppression. Both are true. 2 things can be true. Any person who tells you that one is true in contrast to the other is not telling you the truth of the matter. Because if you grew up how I grew up, and you grew up post-crack era, and these kids had mothers were on drugs and incarcerated, I mean, that's their reality. It's hard to come out of that if your mother didn't go to college, you don't not seeing your father, they're on drugs. If you're not in those shoes, you don't talk to me about that. But on the other hand, if you gain that understanding and you can get out and see the world and see outside of yourself, then you'll begin to get past that, because that's only circumstantial.
I love it. I love it. So would you say your thirst for knowledge comes from more your upbringing, or have you found things later in life that are kind of a testament for this forever learning mentality that you seem to share?
Well, it would definitely be the seeds of it. As I became older and matured, I began to read more and read upon different things, but the seeds of it were always planted. I would read a lot. That was a thing. My mother would force me to read while everybody else was playing and fighting. I have to sit on the porch and read all of the newspapers. And once I read all of the newspapers and summarized all of them, then I could go out and engage in whatever I wanted to engage in. But that needed to happen first so I can know what happened in the world. Again, that comes from understanding self, being exposed to different things, and seeing outside of yourself and knowing there's more out there than your block or even your city.
That's good stuff, man. We always talk about that, Lex, and the children that we serve, we use that phrase all the time and really try to explain it to them why it's so necessary to be a forever learner, and how education is building the principles of how you learn and how you receive information. So it's good to hear that you had someone in your life, like you, and it sounds like you had multiple people in your life that held you accountable at a very young age. And accountability, discipline, all character traits that help with any type of success in life. And now here you have developed those skill sets, and it has matured you to be a Renaissance man, if you may, to cover a vast variety of education, cultural expectations, and even through music and even being an athlete. So we're gonna talk about that here for a minute, man. So 4:40, I heard that too, Jay. I was like, wow, I thought I was doing something, man. I'm getting up at 5:45. This dude right here did more than I do before I wake up. This is just motivation 3.0, man. But how did that become a portion of life, man? Talk to us about that, man. Like anybody, when we think of picking a sport or doing something that becomes not just a habit or a hobby, but just part of our lifestyle, man, how did track become that for you?
Definitely. So, I was a athletic kid. I'm the type where my mother is a Marine, so she just gonna kick you out of the house. I don't play video games, never did it. Go outside, run. I was skateboarding. I played soccer, all varsity soccer all through high school. Ran track, played lacrosse. I mean, I was just physical. Like as much as I was like sensitive and quiet and calm and nice, I was always a physical kid, physical guy. So did that. I was blessed to I went to Carey Academy, partially academic, partially because I was just doing a lot of sports. Had a full scholarship, and then I was just blessed to have a full scholarship to Carolina, so I didn't need the sports. So I just let it go. Got to Carolina and let it go. And I was like, I'm going to go to law school. I knew that. I was focused. I already had it on my mind by the time I was 19 years old. So I just focused on that. It was in student Congress. And then when I got to law school, granted, I'm still playing soccer throughout this whole time, still running, so I want to stay fit. Fitness was a big part of my life. I have an older brother who was always working out, and I would just work out with him. I was like, I got to get abs like my older brother. We got to work out, we playing tackle football on the rocks on the hood. Like we getting after it, so you got to get your weight up, get strong. We did taekwondo. We'd be fighting everything, So then I got to law school and I worked in the athletic department and at the University of Miami. And this was the time they had sanctions, the NCAA sanctions. So they had a lot of lawyers running around. So they would hire kids from the law school to come through, read through all the documents. And I'm seeing these kids who were maybe 2 years younger than me, and I would just go out there and train with them. And they were like, "Oh, what did you run at? Where did you?" I was like, "I stopped after high school. I'm just out here training because I just love it." But it sparked it in me. So when I stayed for the bar, I would just in order to get focused, I would just look at track videos all day. And I would train as if I was going to race. So I'll go run hundreds. And this is why I'm studying for the bar, Florida bar. And that really kept me focused and gave me in the mindset. So I said, originally when I was in law school, I said I had so much resentment because I didn't have parents that had the money to put me on travel teams and do things of that nature. Growing up, I just was out there in school sports. So I felt like my athletics was wasted. So I was like, well, I'll stay down here in Florida. I'll try out for the professional soccer team for a lot of those strikers. I didn't end up passing the bar the first time. Failure is not I'm not ashamed of failure. I didn't end up passing the bar. So I came back to North Carolina. So I said, well, for a lot of the strikers is out the window. So what will I do? I've been training for track. So I said, my mother put the battery in my back. She said, baby, you can do it. I believe in you. So I said, I got on that track. I start throwing up every day, grinding, getting it, training with different. If I could train with you, I'd say you might be a professional at the time. I say I might be 2 meters behind you. By the end of us training a month, I'm going to be a step. So just doing it every day when that was my practice, and that kept me focused and gave me that edge to really pass the bar. So I went on to pass the Florida bar. Then I came back and took the North Carolina bar. Had to take that twice as well, passed the North Carolina bar. And the whole time I was just training, running meets, they had the Olympics. I would run against guys in place. That's when I knew I was like, oh, I'm good at this. And guys doing long jump training for the Olympics. So I just stayed with it. I say, well, my body is given to me, because it's only a window you're going to get with your body. I'm going to leverage all. I'm going to max it out. And it's going to be blood sport. So it's something I'm really just doing personally for my own growth and for my own well-being. But it just has yielded so many dividends to me professionally that are unseen. And that's what it comes from.
Well, Lex, I do want to dip a little bit more into your childhood. I'm going back to the conversation you had, and I seem to recall you saying something about you being looked upon or feeling different as a child. I wonder if you can expand on that a little bit, and if you have any words of wisdom for any of the youth that we may show this video or may come across you in passing your story. What would you say to those that are also struggling with that feeling of just being different or feeling strange?
Got it. So yeah, I grew up at a time where I used to go to DMX concerts with my older brother at 10 years old. So I grew up in that era amongst a lot of older people. I grew up in South Park, Bledsoe, Bloodworth, Bragg. So I was amongst the monsters, to be quite honest. I was African. I was sensitive. I was my mother's baby. So I go outside and I have bullies and people, these kids that are, well, I can't say certain things on the show, but these kids who are, in that right now, they would be beating me up. Just I'm come through, my nose broken, busted lip, my teeth chipped. And when I come in the house, I'm expecting my mother to baby me. I'm expecting my brother to stop it. He's sitting on the side. You better fight. I would go in the house. My mom would say, don't come in this house again. And you got beat up and then stand up for yourself. I'm going to make it worse. So now I got to go back outside, get beat up again until I finally, start throwing. So even if I lose, I'm gonna go there with you. But that sounds crazy right now in 2021, but I'm sure y'all understand the lesson of what I'm saying. So my mom would say, if you're gonna be different and wear these African suits, I was walking around the hood wearing African suits. You're gonna do all that. You better stand up for yourself. You need to stand up for yourself. So I was always like that. My favorite artists were Prince and Jimi Hendrix, and I dressed like them when I was young.
Please tell me, you have any photo evidence of this by chance?
Definitely. My hair is long. It's still long. I used to have long hair, putting it in curls and just living my life, man. Thought I was a professional skateboarder running around, skating everywhere. But eventually people just accepted it, like, oh, that's JR's little brother, that's Joy's little brother. And people might have laughed, but I say, just be you, because at the end, people are going to respect it, and it's going to be something that's going to become a gain to you rather than a hindrance. And I didn't fit in with the kids on my neighborhood. I was as rugged as them, but oddly, but it wasn't in the mold that they were. Didn't fit in with the other black kids. They didn't. Those other black kids whose parents were well-to-do didn't really want them hanging out with me because they knew where I was from. Didn't necessarily fit in with the white kids. So never had a lot of friends, but the friends that I did make, they might been my friends for 2 decades. So it was genuine. But I'm always saying, be you. You don't want to cut a piece of yourself, cut a piece of your spirit because you're afraid to show it. Because in the end, that will end up hindering you, and you will be the one who's losing sleep at the end of the night, not the world. And this always happens that in the end, the world is gonna learn to respect it if you keeping your face clean. That's what we say out and about. Keep your face clean when you hit them corners. As long as your face clean, everything else, they gotta respect it.
I like the fact that you weren't afraid to be your apologetic self. All right. Is that good? You good? All right, yeah. But I also wish I could have seen the Prince outfits with the dashikis, and the Lord ain't through with me yet. But if I saw that, I would have a number of chuckles, to say the least. So please get that photo evidence, just so I can at least have one good laugh today. To just see how how far you've come since then. But I appreciate you sharing, brother. Appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, I'm sure every now and again you look at it, Lex, just to humble yourself. Like, man, but you still that same cool cat, man. Like I can see you for Halloween or just in general. Like, we're gonna take it back. So anyway, man, I appreciate you hanging out with the bros, man. I'm curious, is there anything else you want to leave with the people, man? Any words of wisdom, any insights, or potentially how they could follow you, or learn more about what you're doing?
For all of those who may be younger than I are on their path, just hold steady, stay down till you come up, at the end of the day, and, know that everything there is within you that you can accomplish at the end of the day. No dream or no plan is out of the ordinary, because it's really all in your mindset. And whether you're willing to make those relationships happen, sacrifice to put in that groundwork to make that foundation so you can build that house. I would say really check me out. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm an attorney, founded my own law firm, Ibegbu Law. We're up and booming, doing criminal law, doing a lot of business law these days, helping, startups raise money and handle their contracts. And I'm a realtor as well, doing real estate, so that intersects with the law. And definitely check me out. I have a podcast. I'm in the political world, helping out Richard Watkins. He's running for U.S. Senate. So definitely on the team, getting that moving. Make sure you check that out. That's coming in 2022. Just declared that race. And a lot of things in store. Please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help in any way that I can, because that's what it's all about. We just have to see value in each other, and we become stronger that way.
Well, there you have it, man. The Lex-Jordan. So, Lex, we certainly appreciate you, brother, man. Join us this Sunday coming up, Bro Smith. I gotta get it right. I'm so used to calling you JC, right? But Bro Smith, man, I'm really excited as we continue to chew on this conversation, man. Last Sunday, we got a chance to kick it with Justin and Rashid, adding a lens on this month's conversation, which is all about the Benjamins. So when we're talking about living debt-free, how to find business capital, healthy habits with money, and also using money as a tool. So join us this Sunday coming up. We'll have a special guest, Kevin Dick, who is president and CEO at Carolina Small Business Development Fund, as well as Reginald Jones, who is the Business Solutions Director at Carolina Small Business Development Fund. And that'll be this Sunday, March the 14th at 6 p.m. right here on Facebook at YM4C and also on YouTube at YM4C TV. So as always, man, we always want to leave you guys with a little bit of positive. We're talking about all things entrepreneurship, so we're going to keep it on that lane. And the quote says, "Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle." It's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. YM4C, better known as Coach TJ, and we are the Bro.